start on your back and go to sleep. Lay down. Yeah, no. Take your feet the width of the mat. Let your knees knock in. Yeah, have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Or just have your palms facing up. That actually feels kind of nice. And feel the upper shoulder blades melt to the ground. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Let yourself just feel the connection. Take a nice deep inhale breath through the nose. Good. Exhale the breath, let it out. Okay, so blink your eyes open. Take your knees so they're straight up towards the sky and keep the feet wide. Anchor the back of your triceps like robot arms. Inhale your breath. Exhale, lift up to a little baby bridge with your feet really wide like this. Exhale the breath, lower down. So just do this a few times. Inhale the breath. Exhale, try and move on the exhale breath. Lift up to a baby bridge. Press and anchor the back of the arms like robot arms. Exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale. On the exhale breath, lift. Create some space. Exhale, lower. Good. Slide your left leg forward. Let me move my block. Take your right knee and hug it in, and then reach for the outer blade of your right foot. Slide your left palm onto the top of that left thigh. Make a connection here so your left leg, left shoulder, everything stays down. So essentially this is called a half happy baby. Pull the right knee around the right rib cage. Use your hand. So I like using my hand to the outside of my foot, but some people, maybe want for the inside. If you can't grab your foot, you can grab behind your thigh. So just create this shape because you're encouraging a hip opener. And what I would recommend is flex the left foot very, very strong. Yeah, and breathe. Good. Hug your right knee back in, give it a tight squeeze, and then draw your forehead to your right knee. So you're just going to lift your shoulders up as you hug in. When you lift through your shoulders, not through your neck. Then lift your left calf up off the floor. So you're just squeezing in tight and you're beginning to kind of engage the abdominal wall. Keep hugging the leg. Draw your stomach closer to the right thigh and then reach the arms forward and hold here. So really it's like a tight ball. Your right thigh as close to your torso without your neck kind of lifting and crunching up, the neck nice and long. The arms reaching forward like a Pilates roll up, the left calf floating up off the ground. Give a strong flex of both your feet and then extend the right leg straight up towards the sky and breathe. Keep grounding your lower back. Keep lifting through the core muscles. Flex and reach forward a little bit more. Exhale the breath, let the left leg go and just grab behind your right thigh or your calf, somewhere along the right leg, and let your right leg fall into your clasped hands. So you just get a very kind of passive hamstring release. And then let your right leg just fall to the floor. Move all the blocks out of the way. Start with a hug of your left knee, just lubricate the hip. And then reach for the outer blade of your foot or the instep of your foot for the half happy baby, the back of the thigh. Have your right hand pressing and anchoring into your right thigh. Make a connection here. So as much or as little as you want to get this hip stretch and just begin to feel. Hug the knee back in. So really tight squeeze of your left knee. Good. So you're going to start to draw up like your torso and your thigh make a connection. See if you can get it like glue. And then float the right calf. Hold here for a sec. When you lift deep through your core muscles and make sure you're not jarring your neck up towards the sky in a funny way. Just look up. Good. Once you feel like you're in a tight ball and you're kind of floating in space, reach your arms forward and hold. And then see if you can keep that connection, that strong connection. I know mine starts to drift. Keep the right calf floating up off the floor. Flex the feet strong. Now, extend your left leg straight up and lift a little higher. It's like a scissoring of your legs. Hold here. Lift another inch higher. Lower the right leg, grab anywhere behind your left thigh and let your left leg just fall into your clasped hands. Think passive hamstring release. Let the leg fall. Oh, okay. Hug both knees in, rock and roll, get a little momentum, get a little energy. Cross the ankles, step to a tabletop position. Tabletop position. Morning. Yep, tabletop position. Inhale, sink the spine down and look forward. Exhale, round the spine deeply and look in. Good. Inhale, sinking spine down and looking forward. Exhale, round the spine deeply, look in. Good. Again, inhale, sink spine down, look forward. One more. Exhale, round and look in. Curl the left toes into the mat, just the left toes. Pause. This feels really good when you wear high heels or just doing a lot of walking, running. This is great for just stretching the backside of that left leg, stretching the Achilles tendon. Good. Keeping the left leg the way that it is and the right knee down. So try a cat and cow like this. So inhale, sink the spine down and look forward. Exhale, hollow out your abdominal wall and look in. Okay, here you go. You're gonna inhale, sink the spine down and look forward. It's small movement. Exhale, you're gonna hollow out your abdominal wall, lift your right leg and squeeze in and up. Good. Lower the knee, sink the spine down and look forward. Try and move on the breath. Exhale, round, lift the right knee and scoop and hold. Lower the knee down. Inhale, sink the spine down, look forward. Exhale, round and hollow in. Step your right foot all the way forward and through into a low lunge. Pause. Be on your fingertips. It's always great to have the blocks nearby. Some days you get here and you're like, okay, the floor seems super far for me today. So bring your hands up to you. And just be in this low lunge. Yeah. Good. Glad you made it. You're just in a low lunge, you're pausing. You're not getting annoyed by this. You're leading with your heart and chest. This is great for the psoas, our walking muscle. Couple more cycles of breath, guys. Yeah. Stay with it. Drop the back knee, tabletop position. Tabletop position. So let's try it here. So all you're gonna do in your tabletop position is extend your right leg straight back. You're just grounding your right leg. So before we add anything in here, just feeling your right leg and your left knee down. Sink the spine a little bit forward and then exhale, start with the knee down, round and look in. So now we'll join and lift the knee. So inhale, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Exhale, round, drift the left knee and squeeze tight. Lower the knee down, sink the spine down and look forward. Keep the back leg super strong. Exhale, lift the leg and round in. Lower the knee, sink the spine down and look forward. Last one, hug and hollow left knee in. Step the left foot all the way forward and through, be on your fingertips here. Breathe some length into the back right leg, excuse me, and create a little opening of your chest, be on your fingertips here. And then just maintain some stability. Notice that your left hip likes to wing out. Notice that your mind starts to drift. You start thinking about like what I need to do immediately after this. So just be here. That is normal. You are normal. You're all in the same boat. Stay with it. Focus on little things. When you start to drift and you start to go to that checklist, right? Focus on squeezing the muscles around the back right quadricep. 2 more breaths. Bring your right foot forward to meet your left. I do hips width, guys. Come to the fingertips, long spine, or if you're not making it to the floor, hands to your shins, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold, and let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, just stand for a second. You may want to practice with your feet a little separated today. It feels kind of nice for the low back. You go with what feels good. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, look up. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and set it up for yourself. Plant your palms and take 2 big steps back now to a plank position where we'll hold and breathe for a few cycles of breath. In your plank, you can always drop your knees. If this isn't for you, you just create some support, totally cool. So open up your heart and chest a little bit, plug down with your hands. Yeah. And give just the right amount of energy for this morning's practice. So sometimes we need to back out. Sometimes we need to push ourselves to do a little bit more. So find what you need. And if you don't know what you need, just hang with it. Sometimes you find it along the way. Good. Drop your knees for support, everybody. Lower halfway to a supported push-up. Now, if you are nursing an injury, this doesn't work for you. Just pause in a supported plank. And that's still going to build some strength for the body. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank position and try it again. Halfway to a supported push-up. It can be a micro bend. You don't have to go so deep. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. One more for shits and giggles. Halfway to a supported push-up. Halfway down, supported push-up. There you go. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Lift the knees to your back in plank position. Hips up and back to a dog. Great job. Okay. Look to the top of the mat. We're not going to take up dog yet. Look to the top of the mat. Step your feet there, or float if you feel eager and you've had that extra cup of coffee. Long spine face forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Get grounded here. Exhale, dive over bent knees. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. 2 big steps to get you back to plank. Drop your knees down again. And this time, actually kick your feet up so it looks like this. I'm going to cross my ankles. Halfway to a push-up support. Re-straighten your arms. Supported plank. Again, halfway to a push-up. Re-straighten your arms. Supported plank. One more. Halfway to a supported push-up. Less is more. Know where you need to stop. Supported plank. Lower the toes. Lift the knees. Plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feel your hips this morning lift really high up off your shoulders. And know if you need to bend your knees. You can bend your knees as much as you need so you can give yourself the length so you can create this down dog. Look to the top of the mat. Step, or float your feet there this morning. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. So again, from the top of the mat, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. It's all right. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare, set it up. Step to plank. Just step to plank. So one more time, just like this. Drop your knees, everyone, even if you know you've got the push-up thing down. Halfway to a push-up, supported with your knees down, and you can kick your feet up if you like it that way. Cross your ankles. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. I kind of like it with the ankles crossed. Halfway to a push-up. Re-straighten, draw your navel in. One more. Halfway push-up. Re-straighten to supported plank. Uncurl your toes, lift the knees, plank position. So just find that solid straight line of energy. Hips up and back to a down dog. Each time you get to dog, it's an opportunity to kind of regroup. Look to the top of the mat, arms stay nice and straight. Step or float your feet there this morning. Long spine when you arrive, hands can rest in your shins, Exhale, fold. Great. Root to rise, come all the way up, go big. Drag your hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float this time through a vinyasa. So you're going to take your first vinyasa here. It can be a push-ups, it can have up dog, it can have cobra. It could have none of that. Meet me in a down dog. Roll forward to plank position. Hug your right knee in towards your navel. Yeah, look forward this time rather than rounding in. So scoop out your belly and draw your right thigh in and up. Look forward a little bit. And then step your right foot smack in between your hands. Yeah, don't come up though. Turn your back foot on a big angle. Reach for a block or 2 or 12. Place it to the instep of that right foot. Right palm down, left arm open. This is called B variation of extended side angle. There's several versions of this. The hand is down on the instep of your foot. If this is unavailable this morning, you need to back out. Your arm can just simply rest on the top of your thigh. Breathe your collarbone, your chest open. Wrap your inner right thigh open. Grip the right hip underneath you. And I'll just remind you, there's a turning of your bottom ribs. Yeah. Couple more cycles of breath. If you feel like you need to do something with this arm, you can wave to me. You can take your hand to your hip. You can wrap it behind you for a half bind. Anything goes. Feel your way through the practice though. Keep turning the collarbone, the chest, look over your left shoulder. Stay with it. Warrior 2, pull yourself up. Iron it out. So that means like find the center, wrap the inner right thigh open, spread the collarbone, spread the chest, breathe your arms to opposite sides of the mat, lengthen the tailbone. You got to kind of plug down in this pose to find the energy to maintain the stability and the stillness. Take 3 more breaths. Straighten the right leg on track. Keep your arms open or bring your hands to your hips. You pick, turn the right toes in. Clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale the breath. Exhale, bend and fold down the center. Let your head hang nice and soft. If the top of the head meets the floor, that means you need a little bit of a smaller stance. Breathe the hips up and fold down the center. Good. Release the bound hands directly underneath the shoulders. Long spine on the inhale. Hands come to your hips. Come halfway up. Come the rest of the way up. Keep your legs the way they are just for a moment. Open up your arms nice and wide. Pivot your right toes out. You're setting up for Trikonasana nice and early here. Tip into triangle. If you know you need a shorter stance or you need a block for triangle, block can go to the outside of your calf. Pull up somewhere on the front of your right shin. Stack yourself up here. Grip the outer hips in. Anchor through your feet, your legs. So my back leg is super strong and straight. My front leg has a little bend behind the right knee. And then I'm pressing through the inner and the outer arches of my feet. My side ribs are holding me up. I'm using some pretty solid oblique strength. So it almost feels like I'm not even using my arms. Take 2 more breaths. We're going to move in a little. So just enjoy these moments early in the practice where it's a little slower. Gives you time to just kind of adapt. Look to the floor, circle both hands down, right into an easy twist. You can tent the fingertips. You can come to a block underneath your left hand. Your palm can go flat. Stack open here, peeling your chest to the right as your right hip grips in. Back leg strong. Gaze to the floor, transitioning to side plank. Left palm goes down. Left knee can drop if you prefer the modified version, like I'm going to demonstrate here, and the right leg can just lift up. You can also go to a more traditional form of Shavasana side plank, where you stack your feet, one in front of the other. That's great. Or they can go on top of one another. But any way that you take this, your bottom hip has to kind of breathe your top hip up. Your top arm extends to the sky, and then ultimately your gaze goes up. You look up. Plank position, nice and slow. Put yourself through a push-up if you have it in you, Chaturanga Dandasana. Drag yourself through an up dog, cobra. Press your hands, the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Hug your left knee towards your navel. Squeeze in and up, and rather than rounding in like with your neck to your forehead to your knee, I want you to look forward this morning. Yeah. Keep hugging in. Step your left foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Don't come up. Reach for your block. Place it and set it up in an angle that works for you. And we're gonna set up for that V variation. Okay, right arm extends up towards the sky. It's almost like you're leaning back a little bit into that inner thigh, so you can really create that nice hip opener early on here. Breathe your collarbone open. So you can wave to me, you can take your right hand to your hip, you can slide it behind you for a half bind. I really like my 1979 t-shirt, but it's a little not great for this. I'm having clothing issues. Turn the torso and the chest. Breathe yourself open. Notice that left hip. I know for myself, it likes to just wing out. So grip it underneath. Two more. Unravel your right arm, spread it up, and then pull up warrior two. Yeah, iron it out here, which means you may need to widen the stance a little bit. You may need to breathe your right arm towards the back skinny edge of the mat. Stand up nice and tall, lengthen the tailbone. Pay attention to the little stuff. Your back leg's on a strong angle, your front leg, keep wrapping it open. Side ribs nice and long, and then close your eyes and just kind of get a little mellow here as you support this asana, this shape, with a nice strong breath. And whatever you're feeling, it's just temporary. So keep that in mind. Straighten your left leg on track. Turn the left toes in. Clasp your hands. If you can remember the grip opposite. Inhale the breath, open the collarbone. Exhale, fold down the center. Not a long hold. Bend your knees as much as you need. Let your head just kind of drop. Anytime you bring your hips, your head below your heart, it's creating that illusion of an inversion. Keep shifting the weight forward into the balls of your feet. Your hips are going to keep breathing up nice and high. Back body's getting a nice strong opening. Good. Place the hands down, come halfway up, fingertips directly underneath the shoulders, hands to your hips, come the rest of the way up. Spread your arms wide open, and then from your left hip, turn your left toes out and pivot into your version of Trikonasana triangle pose. Stack yourself up. So find the particular length that works for you. Everyone's going to be a little different. Back leg super strong. My front leg automatically creates a soft bend. And when they're done properly, this feels wonderful. So just a little lean back, but not going into your lower back. Stack yourself up. Eyes to the floor, circle both hands down, right hand tense, left arm peeled, easy twist. Yeah, it's not a long hold, so just kind of transitioning yourself here. Grip your left hip in. And then plug the right palm down and pivot into your Vashisthasana side plank. I'm going to stagger my feet on this side. Right hand a little in front of your right shoulder. Bottom hip through top hip, lift, stack yourself up, then look up. Know if you need to modify here. Drop your bottom knee if you do. Eyes meet the floor, find plank. Add a push-up, do it slow. Feel what you're doing. Then slide yourself through up dog, baby cobra. You pick. Hips up and back, downward facing. From your down dog, land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong at an angle. Rise to a warrior one, guys. Outer blade of your back foot secures the pose. Left rib spin forward. Eyes can look up a little, but keep your neck neutral. Hands to the floor through a vinyasa, or simply find a dog and just hold for an extra breath while we do all this jazz. Once you get to your down dog, the left foot lands, the back foot turns. Rise on your exhale breath, warrior one. Back foot secures the posture, right rib spin forward. Press kind of heavy through your feet and through your legs, and then look up a little. Hands come down, frame out that front foot, plank through a push-up, up dog or cobra, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top, step or float. We're gonna move a little quicker. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold, sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Stick your butt way back. Weights in your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms slide up, look up a little. Sit heavy in your heels and drop down, chair. Dive over bent legs, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare, step, float, move through your version of a vinyasa. Up dog, hips up and back, downward facing. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Moving on your energetic breath, warrior one. Hands back down through a vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands, the back foot turns. Rise, warrior one. Hands back down. So you're moving at your own pace here. Add your push-ups or remove. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Get there light. So it's like one big movement here. Long spine, weight is forward, fold. Sit deep into chair. Get out of your own way. Chair pose. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Sit deep chair. Weight in your heels. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to a long spine, set it up, step, float, move your body through a vinyasa that works. Could just be going to dog. Nice work. Right foot lands when you're ready, warrior one. Back down we go, vinyasa or take it out. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one, come on up. Good, back down we go through a vinyasa. Upward facing point, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. One more, look where you wanna go. Step or float to the top. Just keep it moving here. Long spine, weight is forward. Fold into yourself. Sit again into a strong chair. Press up to stand up, drag it to prayer. Take a moment. Here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Aren't we having fun? Sit deep into chair. Dive over bent legs, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step, float, hop, skip, however you want to get there, fly. Chaturanga. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. So just moving and grooving here. Yeah. Friday morning jazz. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Keep it going for yourself. Left foot goes, right foot forward and through once you get there. So don't take any time to recover yet. That's for tonight when you sleep. Chaturanga. Upward facing, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Breathe your right leg up, hip height. Only hip height. Flex your foot strong like you're leaving a footprint on the wall behind you. Grip your outer left hip in. Feel your triceps hug in. Keep your neck nice and neutral. So your right leg's just in space, guys, and you're just holding it up. Yeah. You're gonna come forward and take your right knee towards the back of your right tricep. Now, it may not actually touch, it's just going in that direction. Right knee, right tricep, as high up on that back of that right arm as you can. Then hug your knee in, scoop out your belly, step your right foot forward and through, turn your back foot on an angle, cartwheel open, warrior two. We were here before, take a moment. Reestablish your stance. Good. Flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Let the side body open. Come back through warrior two, reach the hand out, extended side angle A. I go for a block, and you're more than welcome to place the block on its highest setting. Top arm this time wraps up and forward. That's pretty much the difference between A and B. The B, we add the bind, which we did early. The A, there's a wrapping over. If the hand does not make it to the floor, to the block, the arm can also rest on the top of the side. This isn't a super long hold, so just find it and see if you can breathe through it. Same order of events. The hip has to grip underneath you. That would be your right hip. And your bottom ribs turn. So A and B, although similar, they work different parts of the hip. Right. If the arm reached forward, okay, slide it straight up towards the sky, or even better, bring your left hand to your hip, look down and float into a nice, smooth transitional pose, right up to a half moon. Yes, notice the right foot. It likes to do a little dance on you. So see if you can do your best work to keep your right foot forward, gripping your right hip in, and then stack yourself up here. Ardha. You can add whatever you want in your Ardha. Today, for me, I'm just folding the basic form. And maybe just work on being a little lighter in your breath. Right. Sparking up those left toes, hugging that right hip in, breathing your chest and your collarbone open. And anytime we put ourselves in a balancing pose, we anticipate falling. So if you fall, you just try it again. Eyes meet the floor, square off your hips. Yep, square off your hips, step your feet together, sit into a chair pose. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right. Let's chair twist here to the right. Keep your feet, your shins, your knees, and your hips all lined up together. Yeah, and you can take chair twist with your feet separated, with even a block in between your thighs if you know you go into your low back. Yes, place the block in between the thighs, and that's going to help you not go as deep. If you know you've got a lot of lower back sensitivity, you don't even have to wrap your arm to the outside of the leg. Place your elbow into the middle of your thigh and take less of a twist. Yeah. Yes, our arm can rest on that block. I like that. Spine stays long. Rather than looking back, look sideways, look up. Keep the weight in the heels, guys. You're doing great. Pull around to a chair. Pull around, chair pose. Smile, you're on camera. There you go. Now look a little happier in your chair pose. Sit really deep in chair. Keep sitting. Lower your bum all the way to the floor for Botnavasana. If you have two blocks, my friends, you can place your hands on those blocks out in front of you. I like doing boat like this. Yes. Think chest elevated, heart, collarbone open. Your knees can be as bent as you need, but you want to create a nice long length from the tailbone through the crown of the head. My hands are touching these blocks, which are helping me out a lot. Make that connection. Breathe your collarbone and your chest open. Stay with it. Scoop up that belly. One Ardha Navasana. Lower and hover. Shoulders are lifted. Legs can hover at any level that works for you. Navasana, pull it up. Cross the ankles, step or float through your vinyasa. However you like to move here. You can just go right back, down dog. Yes, meet me in a downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, breathe your left leg up and back, just straight up towards the sky, hip height, and just pause. Feel your hands, feel your outer triceps, feel your right hip, grip it in, and flex the left leg super strong. Feel the lift from the inner left thigh. Come forward to plank and take your left knee to the back of your left tricep. So lift it up as high as it's going to go this morning. Scoop out your belly. It's only a direction, so it might not get that close. Hug the left knee in. Look forward and land your left foot forward and through. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Cartwheel open, warrior two. Take a nice big step. Make sure your left foot is forward. Wrap the inner left thigh open. Breathe the collarbone open. Flip the palm, reverse your warrior, side body opening. This looks great. Come back through warrior two, reach out, hand to the outside of your foot, arm to top of thigh. Find something that works. Stack your two arms up or wrap your right arm up and forward. A variation extended side angle. Outside of left leg, inside of left arm. Make it pretty nice magnet here. So there's a connection. Turning of the bottom rib, softening of the left shoulder. If the arm reached forward, stretch it straight up towards the sky, or better yet, bring your right hand to your hip. Look down, float up into Ardha Chandrasana. Make it a smooth transition. Hug your left hip in super strong. Stack yourself up. Lift the right leg up, only hip height, guys. And breathe yourself open. So finding the right position for the block is half the battle. It's enough forward, enough to the left that you're not reaching forward. It's just aiding the posture to keep you long and open. A little wobbly, a little unstable, it's all right. One more big breath in, stay with it. Eyes go to the floor, both hands square you off first, and then step your feet together or separated with hips width distance. It's up to you, sit deep into chair. You can also place that block in between your thighs and do it like this, yes. Slide your hands to prayer at heart, and how the breath hooks the elbow and twist. So you can make less of a twist. The elbow can just rest on the center of that block or the center of that thigh. Yeah. Especially with lower back sensitivity, which so many of us have, right? Really being mindful when you twist is going to keep that lower back a lot happier. Keep the two knees, the shins, everything lined up, and the weight keeps moving back into your heels. This is great. Stay for another beat. Right here, you got it. Chair pose. Yep. This time, shoot up to stand up. Move the block out of the way and just stand at the top of the mat. Good. Right leg is your balancing leg. Left leg, pull your left leg up into tree. I'll turn towards you. Yeah, so tree pose, like I've been doing this for a while, so it's easy for me to get my foot to the inside of my thigh, but not for everybody. Sometimes you just have to have it down low, hands to prayer. You can open up the branches of your tree if you feel like it. Good, and then get rooted, get grounded. Some days it's easier, some days it's more challenging. And that's the nature of this practice. Keep hugging the outer hips in. Keep the arms moving up, guys. Just float the foot away from the inner thigh, just like an inch or two, and then cross the foot over that right thigh and start to sit into chair. Now, as you start to sit, flex your left foot super strong, lean out, keep reaching, hips are sliding back, and then it's a great opportunity here to reach for your blocks. Yeah. And set up for ankle to knee. So if you know you want to incorporate an arm balance, flying pigeon here, this is where it would go. I'm just going to stay real low, hovering and getting the strong external rotation of that left thigh. Now, what you can do is flex your left foot around that right tricep. Keep your chest nice and open. That's why I'm using the blocks. The second you collapse, the pose is kind of over. Heavy in that right heel. Keep steering your hips back like you're in chair. And breathe wherever you are. If you're working on arm balancing, that's awesome. If not, just stay right here. Adding a little more challenge into this morning's practice. Stay with me if you can. Come up nice and slow and do this slowly. At the same time, bring your hands to your hips. Wrap your left thigh around your right and wrap your left arm under. A few breaths in eagle. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the arms tight. And if you kind of have to reset for a second, that's okay. Swing your knees to the left, upper body a little to the right. Get heavy in that standing right leg and sit 2 inches deeper. Eagle. Release, arms go up, legs release, hands to prayer. Stand up tall. Left leg is your balancing leg. Right leg bends up, bring it into a tree. Anywhere along that left leg, just don't press it into the instep of the knee. Hands to prayer. Get grounded, get rooted, hug your outer hips in. Any shape that you're making here that works for you. Grow the branches if you feel like it. Play with your balance, which I clearly am. Breathe yourself open. Keep the arms moving up and just float your foot away from that inner thigh for a breath. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh and start to sit. Now, as you sit, steer your hips way, way back and flex your right foot really, really strong. Now, as you reach forward, really reach forward and then come into your version of ankle to knee flying pigeon here. So I'm using the back of my arms, my elbows to kind of press against the front of that right shin and then flex the foot strong around the outside of that left tricep and then get heavy in the heel and sit. And just reminding you, don't collapse your chest, so don't lean in. You're gonna keep your heart nice and open. If you're playing with balance on your hands, have a little fun. If not, just stay where we are and breathe. Steer your left hip kind of in and to the right a little because it has a tendency to want to pop out. If you're flying, just put the foot back down. Transition slow. Start to come up nice and slow, hands to your hips. As you press up, wrap your right thigh around your left and then wrap your right arm under eagle. Get heavy in that standing left leg. This is to challenge your balance. Steer the knees a little to the right, upper body to the left, and rather than yanking all the way down, lift the elbows up and squeeze tight. Asana, eagle pose. Release, sweep the arms out and up, bring your hands to prayer, stand at the top of the mat. Just stand for a second. You can have your blocks here if you think you're gonna need it, but actually I don't think we need it for this. Feet hips width distance, slide your left leg back, 3 feet. Actually, I'm gonna challenge you to not use your block, okay? So the right hand to hip, left arm extends up, come forward halfway, steer your right hip back with your right hand, and then rather than reaching for a block, which we are all very inclined and programmed to do, take your left palm and press it anywhere on the front of your shin. So if you're a little less flexible, higher up is fine. If you want to work a little bit more, lower down towards your ankle and kind of pull up on that ankle. Now I'm continuously steering my right hip back, and then my right hand slides to the flat part of my back, and then I begin to peel open. So just move slowly in steps and stages. And rather than reaching for that block, this is going to require the lower half of the body to really do a lot of good work. You got it. So rather than looking back, look sideways. Yes, look up. Yeah, I like this, Meredith, for you. This is really good because it's so stabilizing. You're not twisting to the lower back at all. And it's putting you right where you need to be. So we're not going to go too deep. So we're going to be little kids today. So we're going to cartwheel ourselves all the way up. You're just going to pivot your feet around and bring your hands to your hips and face the back edge of your mat. So if you're no longer facing the camera, you just listen and feel your way through. So your left foot is forward, your right foot is back, and you're facing the back of your mat now. Left hand on hip, right arm extends up, you come halfway down. You're gonna steer your left hip, like I'm giving myself a manual adjustment. My left hip back, and then my right hand's gonna press anywhere on that front of that shin. Higher up is cool, down lower on the ankle and pulling up is gonna be a little more advanced. Slide the left hand to the flat part of the back, kind of work it out here. Look sideways, then look up. Twisting triangle without a block, maybe peeling your left arm open if it's available. Squeeze the inner and outer thighs in nice and tight. So you have to do it really slow so you can get grounded and feel. Good work. Stay with it. Couple more. Eyes go to the floor, hands come down, facing the same direction, step to a down dog. So just stay facing the back edge of the mat, down dog. Roll forward to plank, halfway to a push-up, up dog or cobra, hips up and back, downward facing. Facing the back edge of the mat, step your right foot forward into a low lunge, rise to a crescent lunge, high lunge. We actually haven't taken this pose yet today. Hands come to prayer at heart. Inhale the breath. You're gonna lean out, hook the elbow, and twist. And if you need to drop your knee because something's going on, lower back sensitive, go ahead and do that. Just make sure your right knee, your right ankle, wherever you are in this posture, are lined up. Lean back a little bit and twist open. Look sideways, look up. Yeah. If the back leg is lifted, integrate it super strong. Stay with it. Two more. Hands to frame your front foot. Listen carefully. You're going to straighten your right leg on track. You're going to pivot through the center. You're going into this wide straddle. So you're now facing down the center. Hands are going to come to your hips. You're going to come halfway up. You're going to come the rest of the way up. Okay. So you're in this wide position right now. Turn your heels in and your toes out. So it looks like this. Keep your hands on your hips. Drop down. Take your hands and encourage your thighs to open. Yeah. Now what happens here is I immediately want to pitch forward. Don't pitch forward. Sit nice and upright. Wrap your inner thighs open and then give a little bit of pressure. Hands press into the top of the thigh so the shoulders can drop down the back, and then close your eyes and breathe. Lengthen the tailbone, wrap the inner to outer thigh open, press heavy into those quadriceps. 3 more breaths. Straighten the legs. Good. Hands to your hips, turn the toes in, fold down the center for a second, slide the hands directly in between the feet like a chaturanga and fold here. 3 breaths. Good work. Yes. Bend your knees as much as you need. Good. Come to the fingertips, long spine. I just want you to creep towards your left foot and pivot your left toes forward and your right leg back. So now you're at the front, back at the front edge of your mat. Yes. Around the world, here we go. Rise, high lunge, crescent lunge. Left leg is forward, right leg is back. Hands drag to prayer. Inhale the breath, lean out, hook the elbow, and twist. Activate your back leg super strong if you're keeping the knee lifted, or go ahead and drop the knee and give yourself a little support. Just reminding you that your left knee, your left ankle should be tracking. Lean back a little bit and get in there. If you opened up your arms on the other side, recreate that here. Eyes meet the floor, hands to frame your front foot, step to a plank. Halfway to a push-up, up dog or cobra. Last one, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Slide your right knee forward, half pigeon. Yeah. Half pigeon. Use a block if you feel like there's a lot of space between your right butt cheek and the floor. Yeah, half pigeon pose. Perfect. Let yourself just melt. So this is what's going to happen. Come up slow. Lean on the right side, swing the left leg forward. Okay, we're gonna go into bull seat today. So how do we get into that? You gotta place your hands in front of you like this and stack your left knee in front of the right knee, okay? So go like you're in a little tabletop position and cross your left knee in front of your right knee, okay? Then separate your feet wide as you need to. Take your block and start to sit back because a lot of us aren't gonna get our butt to the floor. Right, so the block is helpful. So, you know, I can get my butt down there, but a lot of us are really far, and so you need a little cushion. And so you're gonna sit up. So I'm gonna turn towards you so just see how this looks from the front angle. So my knees are crisscrossed in front of one another. This is like an unbelievable stretch. Yeah, sit up nice and tall. Now, you can just hook your big toes and stay like this, or the traditional pose is to go Gomakasana. So you can grab your left elbow, kind of hook it up, and then the right hand's gonna slide up the back. My bun was in the way. Hands don't have to clasp. You just can create that shape. Sit up nice and upright and breathe here. And just breathe. And if you feel like you can hinge forward, wonderful. There's no way in hell I can hinge forward. I'm just gonna stay upright and hold here. Maybe close your eyes. If you took the arm bind, release the arms, okay? Move the block out from underneath you. And then you'll slowly just unravel your feet like this, guys, and press up into reverse tabletop just to release it. Inhale the breath, lengthen, exhale, look down the center line of the body, and just make sure there's a straight line of energy. Exhale the breath, lower down, cross the ankles, step through a vinyasa, or just go to a dog. And once you get to down dog, slide your left knee forward for half pigeon on the other side. Okay, left leg will come forward and we'll be here for about a minute before we move on to the next hip opener. And just breathe. I was trying to teach postures today that we hadn't done in a while. And it seems like the ones we hadn't done all work together really nicely. So let yourself just fold a little deeper into this. Good, start to come up nice and slow. Lean on your left side first, swing your right leg around. So you're gonna kind of cross your right thigh, but bring your hands forward and kind of rock yourself into a little tabletop. This is the easiest way to get in, or step into a tabletop and take your right knee now in front of your left, and then widen your feet as much as you can, and then start to sit back, bring the block with you. The best way to get in, wow, this side is tight, okay. And then breathe. So you're either gonna hook your big toes and just stay nice and upright, or your right elbow will come up and you'll scoop up and you'll take your Gomakasana arms. You don't have to clasp your hands. You can just create the shape. You can just create the shape. So the right arm is up the back, right elbow is up towards the sky, and the left arm is up the back. Your chin isn't jutting forward though, it's nice and neutral. And then we just breathe here. Maybe even closing your eyes and let your body just kind of absorb the opening. Left shoulder draws down the back. If you took the Gomakasana arms, just unravel the arms to the sky first. Place the hands down. Take the hands behind you, guys. Unravel the legs. Fingers will face you. Inhale the breath. Exhale, lift up in the little baby tabletop. So if it doesn't feel great, you just lift a little bit. If you can lift, tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Lift up high. Exhale the breath, lower down. When you hit the floor, bring your block with you. Lay down on your backs, lift your hips up and take your block. If you can go the highest direction this morning, underneath your sacrum, and clasp your hands, set up for a supported bridge. any direction with the block. Make sure it's not jamming into you. And then once you get here, you can elevate your legs straight up towards the sky. Hands could be clasped around the block. Keeping the legs directly over the hips is the goal. Perfect. Close your eyes. Unleash the hands, get the palms flat first, bend one leg, then the other leg, get your feet flush to the floor. Once the feet settle on the ground, get that established, then lift the hips up high enough that you can remove the block out from underneath you and lower your lower back to the ground. So we are finishing exactly how we started. Knees drop in, feet go wide. Good, and I don't really have the room to do this, but if you can just windshield washer your knees to the right. So my right leg is gonna be a little higher than my left. My left leg is on an angle here. And you could just take a little supine twist like this. You can even cross your right ankle over the top of that left thigh and kind of press down. It's a little more of an IT band stretch. And then let that foot slide off and rock up to center, feet the width of the mat. Swing your hips a little to the right and knees to the left. And then you can cross your left ankle over the top of the right thigh and kind of press down. Nice little supine twist. Good, let that foot go, come up to center. Even it all out and then just slide yourself into Shavasana. If you have blocks and your lower back is sensitive, place the blocks underneath your thighs, such as I'm demonstrating. Turn the palms open, scoot the shoulder blades up, and then just let your body, your mind, your breath just go. Exhale everything out. Take a deep breath in. Exhale loud from your mouth. Start to wiggle fingers, toes, stretch arms up with the top of, over the top of the head. Give yourself a dynamic stretch and then a dynamic squeeze. Stay down or rock up to seated position. Sit up nice and tall. And just feel for a second. It's like a magical mystery ride, this class. Hands to prayer, bow your head for a second. I like magic and I like mystery. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Go out there, have a great afternoon. See you next week or sooner.